The year that was for Toronto Fire turned out to be challenge after challenge after challenge, and that includes the massive blaze that happened here at York Memorial Collegiate Institute that gutted this heritage building and left an entire student body having to relocate. Then there was the more recent incident at a high-rise building in northwest Toronto that ended up leaving one person dead and everyone in that building displaced. And that has raised a lot of questions about Toronto's fire services and whether or not they're capable of handling circumstances like this.
Our crews had a lot of tests this year, which isn't, I wouldn't say abnormal. This is a big city that never sleeps, but there were certainly some trying situations for sure.
6 alarms, 150 firefighters, an overwhelming flames and smoke as far as the eye could see. That was the scenario Toronto Fire faced last May at York Memorial. How difficult was it an operation for you?
6 alarms is as large an incident as we pre-script. I'm not sure that I've seen anything more complicated from the standpoint of smoke management. It was a daunting task for not only for our folks but for paramedics and police.
The results of the Ontario Fire Marshal's initial investigation were released in August and determined the fire was accidental. No word on how Toronto Fire handled the incident, and at the time, the fire chief offered no comment. Now,
our process really gets locked down at the point where any party indicates, or even gives an early indication that there may be some legal process, which is the case here.
1 month ago, a 5-alarm fire at a 16-story building on Gosford Boulevard killed a man stuck in an apartment on the 8th floor. Going into that situation, what were your crews dealing with?
Gosford was tragic, as any time in the city that we have an incident that results in a critical injury or the loss of life to one of our residents, that's something I feel.
Are you satisfied that you were there in the amount of time that you needed to be?
Yeah, you're right. That's a standard investigation element for any, whether it's fatal or critical injury or just a major fire. Am I confident? I'm absolutely confident. I was there very quickly that night myself, and I can tell you that the amount of effort and the amount of care that the women and men that were there employed to protect and save lives that night was nothing less than extraordinary, and I'm proud of every one of them. Chief
Pegg guarded in his assessment of what happened here at York Memorial and on Gosford Boulevard, looking forward, an admission of sorts that while resources are okay at this point, that more will be needed for Toronto Fire as the city continues to grow. All the more reason to look closely at City Hall to make sure that the men and the women that are fighting these fires, literally on the front lines, get what they need in the future.